Hello, hello. It's Julie Davison from juliedavison.com. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie, part one. I'm so happy you are joining us. It is Sunday, September 15th, 2024. I've got Mom joining me on audio. Hi, Mom.
Hi, everybody.
So happy that we can film again together this week. And I'm really excited about the product that we are featuring in this week's video. So I'm going to turn the camera over to my desktop so that we can take a look. Okay, so we are back in the new mini, the September through December 2024 mini catalog. And I feel like it's only been 2 weeks, but I feel like it's been so much longer.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited that we get to share all these new products with you. And today we are looking at pages 34 and 35, the Regal Winter Suite. And even though this suite literally has winter in its name, I feel like this is really for year-round card making and project making, paper crafting. The colors are very fall and winter with the dark Regal colors, but the imagery could be stamped in any color. The dyes and the flowers are just fabulous for really any time of year. So Regal Winter, I would just want to say something different, like Regal Floral or something like that. In fact, actually, that is the name. The name of the stamp set is called Regal Flora. So let me move the catalog out of the way and show you this amazing product in person on video. The Regal Floral stamp set is a cling mount rubber stamp set. And it has this really fantastic, distinctive imagery. I really like this style where you sort of have the built-in kind of shadows and shading right into it. So it's sort of these like watercolor-ish images. I feel like maybe I should have turned on my other light. Hopefully you can see okay. And the sentiments really for me are like the best. I love this. Wishing I were there to give you a hug, sending love your way, thanks, and missing you. So this is so perfect to send cards to friends and family who live a little far away from you, who you are missing and want to send some love to. And we have coordinating dies that
Mom.
die cut. Are you saying you want a card?
Sure.
I definitely miss you and want to send you a hug. So I will send you the card I'm making today in the mail and send a little hug to you. I think you're really gonna like the card that I have designed for you. So the die set has some dies that die cut the outline or die cut the stamped images, and then this really awesome label die, which I'm going to show you on my project today, and then this other we just filmed your video, Mom, and so you use this one, and I don't know what it looks like. It's sort of, I guess, some foliage or floral kind of background greenery. I like what you've done with it. So you guys have to make sure you watch Mom's video so you can see. The designer paper is so beautiful. It is a 12 by 12 paper and it's called Regal Winter. And it's got so many fantastic Regal colors in it. The cherry cobbler, real red, some a little bit of lighter color in here, some bubble bath, berry burst. I picked up some fresh Freesia on some of these pages as well to go with the Blackberry Bliss. We've got some pretty peacock, night of navy. Wild wheat is that beautiful yellow. I know some of you might argue with me on that one. We've got some garden green, just so many beautiful colors on this floral paper. Oh, this one is one of my favorite patterns with the plaid. And I've seen some beautiful cards that use some of these backgrounds, especially with different stamp sets, not even floral stamp sets. Like there was a Christmas card that I received as a swap that had the blue paper, and it was so beautiful. I love, love, love these colors for fall. Well, this is one package of paper, but we also have this other one. And what is the name of this one? Is it Distressed? What?
No, let me look it up because I didn't on mine and couldn't remember the name. It is called Regal. You're right, Julie. Regal Distressed Pattern.
So
12 by
this is
12 specialty designer.
Yes, this is also 12 by 12, and you're going to get two sheets each of these three patterns. So there's a kind of a cherry cobbler with the grid. There's a pretty peacock with the gold foil and leaves, and then another white with gold. And this one's kind of more of a plaid. This has got some distressed sort of pattern to it, and this one is a little more solid in its foil pattern. Really, really beautiful. And then, of course, we've got some gorgeous ribbon. I was just raving about all the amazing ribbons in this catalog, and so many of them would go with this suite. We have a cherry cobbler ribbon, a wild wheat ribbon, but this is the one that coordinates with the suite specifically. It is Blackberry Bliss and gold, and it is kind of a wider ribbon, a half inch, and it is, I would say, a little bit stiffer. So if you're making a bow, it's going to be a bigger bow, but it still will hold quite nicely. And then we have these gold foil, Regal foiled adhesive back dots, and you can tell which color I've been using a lot of. You also have a beautiful green and sort of like a pink and blue, and then the purple. I feel like these are a lot lighter than the colors here, but that's
Yes.
what I love about our embellishments is like I think this is going to be gorgeous to mix and match with some other papers, and there are other embellishments that are going to be gorgeous to bring in to go with this one too. Okay, let me show you some samples before before we dive into today's project. I have been having a lot of fun with this suite. I'll start with a swap card. Here's one. This one is from Jody Reiner, and she used the plaid embossing folder in the background.
Oh,
And then from the Good Shepherd or Shepherd's Care, I think is the name of the stamp set. Praying that you will feel the Good Shepherd's care in this season. So pretty.
yeah.
Petal pink for the card base there. And I know you said this was your favorite pattern, Mom.
But I don't know that I would have paired it with petal pink. That's gorgeous.
Oh, I made a card and I used this paper and also paired it with petal pink. Petal pink is just one of my favorites, though. I used a lot of the traditional colors here, right from the designer paper, to create this card. And I think this was a bonus sample that I shared. Was it a bonus sample I shared during our stamp along?
Oof.
Isn't it the same layout? Maybe I made
I
it
think
after that
so.
video.
Yeah.
Um, but I got wild wheat here for the card base, and then a couple different patterns of the designer paper, and some cherry cobbler and pretty peacock for the flowers and the leaves. And then I just made this one recently this week. I brought in some of the fresh freesia. I love the
Oh,
way that
yeah.
goes with the Blackberry Bliss and the pretty peacock. Lots of designer paper here, and then those little dots in the corner. I just like the way that kind of frames the card. Same colors, just a different arrangement. Wild Wheat Pretty Peacock and Blackberry Bliss for the stamped images on this one, sending love your way. And then here's another swap, this one from Natalie Travis, and she used Wild Wheat. And this is actually from the Season of Elegance. There's some really fun tags. And the ribbon is from the Splendid Autumn. Sweet. And then here's one I did for our shoebox swap that we had, our team shoebox swap that was last month. And I used a little bit of petal pink for the cardstock for the sentiment, and then for the leaves in the background there as well. My card base is basic beige, and
Love
I
it.
brought in, it's kind of hard to tell, but I brought in that layered floral 3D embossing folder.
Oh, nice. Oh,
I
that's
know, right?
perfect.
I really think it goes nicely with this designer paper. Now, this one is in the annual catalog, so you're not going to find it in the mini, but it does coordinate really well, I think, with the floral in the Regal Winter. So I decided to use this embossing folder for my project today. So let me move some of these things out of the way so that we can get started with our project. Okay, so here it is. I've got this embossed with the basic white cardstock. It's 3.5 by 4.25. And then I have a piece of designer paper, and this is 3 inches by 4.5 inches. And I used the label die here, and I die cut it ahead of time. And I wanted to show you how this die cuts because it's one die, but it die cuts in two different pieces. So you have the negative image here, and then the die cuts a frame, and the frame has some stitching on it. It's hard to tell on the white or on the patterned paper. And then the label on the inside. So it die, this is what the die cuts. And then I'm going to actually use that negative image as well. And the main die has some stitching around the edges. So I'm going to use for this card, I'm actually just going to use the frame, but I have a sample in which I've used this piece to show you how you can use it because I also am going to die cut a white label to go on the inside, and without using the frame there'll be some nice space in there. So this is going to layer onto a piece of fresh Freesia cardstock that's 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So it's going to be like that, actually like that. And then I've got a piece for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4 and a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4 for the designer paper. Same pattern there. And another piece of white cardstock. This is going to be used to stamp and die cut. So for the front of the card, by the way, this is Blackberry Bliss 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. We're going to add our white embossed cardstock in the center. And then we're going to add and layer on our, put it like that. We're going to layer on this and then do some decorating on the front. So let's do some stamping. Let's get our stamps out here. And I'm using the Fresh Freesia and the Blackberry Bliss. So this is kind of a monochromatic card. There are so many colors in the paper, and I showed you a lot of samples where you can bring in those colors, but there's also some monochromatic patterns, right? The blue and the red and this purple piece. And so I think you could go either way with this stamp set. All right, what am I doing? I don't know. Okay, let's start with
Stamping.
the things we're gonna die cut. What's that, Mom?
I said you're stamping. That's what
Yeah, I'm stamping. Yes, very good. I'm going to stamp wishing I were there to give you a hug. I think that's my favorite like sentiment ever. And maybe it's because I do have kids that are living apart from me right now, and I wish this more than anything. So I will use the label die to die cut that. And then I'm also going to stamp in Blackberry Bliss this sort of leaf image, and then some flowers. So for the front, I'm going to do 2 small flowers in Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to send all of that through the magic of TV embossing machine. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that was so easy. And then for the inside, I am going to do some flowers right in the middle. And I'm going to do another sentiment inside. This one says, sending love your way.
So nice.
And I felt like it needed just a little bit more. So I am going to add that little strip of designer paper to the bottom. So kind of some simple stamping, like the stamping on this card isn't it isn't very fancy. It's just stamping and die cutting. And this will go on the inside. But I think that little strip at the bottom, doesn't it just kind of pull everything
It
together?
really does. Nice job, Jay.
Okay, for the front, we're going to add that white embossed cardstock in the center. And then over here, we're going to do some regular adhesive to put the frame down. And this is going to end up going in the middle. And so I die cut it so that it would have the same shape. And now without the little frame that it die cuts, we have like an extra little space in there to see that cardstock in the middle.
I love that. And good job on the die cutting, not like mine. And
Oh,
you'll see what I mean.
I'm going to put a little piece of ribbon underneath that
Oh,
label.
nice.
Where did my scissors go? Here they are, hiding on the other side of my desk. Okay. And then we're going to add some of these images. So I'm going to use, well, let's do the ribbon first. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive down, and then this is going to stick to the adhesive. And we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals under the flowers. We're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals under the leaf. I love some Stampin' Dimensionals. I don't know that I make many, or scratch that, like any cards that don't have Stampin' Dimensionals on them. I think it's just sort of a given anytime I have like things to layer on. I'm going to start with the leaf and kind of add this up in the corner like that. And then the flower is going to go also in the corner, and the other flower in the other corner. And then the label, right side up, is going to go in the middle.
So pretty, Julie. I love this.
Thank you. I think you could really, like I said, this is a monochromatic card, and we have other monochromatic papers, you know, in this designer paper pack. And so I think you could really kind of create this same card with the cherry, or with the wild wheat, or with navy. Like, I think you could create a whole series of these cards. So if you're not a purple fan, then I think you could create a similar card with any of the other colors, and it would be beautiful.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, this is going to go on with dimensionals as well because I just want to, but especially because whenever I'm layering over an embossed textured piece, I just feel like that introduces an opportunity for adhesive to fail, you know, when
Yeah.
there's extra bumps and stuff. And so that's why especially I make sure to use dimensionals on top of that layer.
Beautiful.
Okay, so here's where I need your assistance. I know you're gonna say yes, bling it up. But
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not sure where to put them. So let me give you a close-up of the card. That awesome texture.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna tell me to bling, right?
Yeah. I was, on the label, is where I put it. And maybe in the lower left corner, do a couple, and then in the upper right.
Okay, this is it. I literally have 2 packages of these, and these are the last 5 purple gems that I have.
There you go. Perfect. That works out really well. Yeah.
Wishing I were there to give you a hug.
Oh.
I told you I did make a card using these extra pieces. So I used this one, and then the frame from the white, I used that as well, and I created this card.
Ta-da. Good job.
So this was kind of one of those like, use all the scraps you have on the table, because
Yeah.
originally I was gonna do a fresh Freesia embossed piece, but I decided to go to the white instead, and I just kind of had all these pieces laying around, so it just worked out, and I finished
Yeah.
up this card, little stamping on the inside there as
Beautiful.
well.
Love them both. Love them.
Oh, thank you. I had so much fun with this suite, and I hope that you feel inspired by the card ideas that I shared today. Even if you don't have the exact same stamps that I do, I hope that you will use these ideas to create cards at home. So let's turn the camera around, and I'll show off my card one more time. Oh, I hope that you enjoyed my card today. It is almost time now, though, to go check out and see what Mom has created with the Regal Winter Suite. So Mom, I know we talked a lot in your video, which we filmed right before mine. Do you have anything to add before we wrap up this one and head over to your channel for part two?
No, other than, you'll get a good chuckle.
Oh, Mom's card is absolutely gorgeous. You are going to love it. So let's head over to her channel and check out what she's created in Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie Part 2. Before we go, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed what I shared today, and subscribe to my channel and to Mom's so you don't miss out on future episodes of Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. Thank you so much for watching with us today. We'll see you next time. Bye, Mom. Love you.
Bye, Jay. Love you. See y'all in
Bye,
a few.
everybody.